A shark is always going to be a shark. That is the title of this message today. So basically I'm going to tell you an encounter I had with a hammerhead shark recently, and it kind of goes to show you that, like, and I think you could get a message from this, is that, people going to do what they're going to do. People are going to be who they are, okay? And this particular dive, I went out with a friend of mine. His name's Andrew, and another friend of mine called Lucas. Lucas is a freedive instructor that dives with Dixie Divers. Okay. So this dive was actually very recent. It's my latest dive, and I was invited out. I haven't really been diving like I want to, but I was basically invited out to hit the beach. Short notice and everything, but I came all the way there. Drove all the way to Lauderdale by the Sea, and we didn't really hit the right side of the pier like we usually do. We went far left and far out left. And the cool thing about this was I already kind of knew today was going to be a special day. I knew today was going to be a good day off me heading out there, and me being greeted by the most beautiful sight of a sea turtle. That's usually indicative that the reef is active today. For some reason, that's what I believe. But it basically was like we went out there. The ocean was cold. I didn't have that much equipment on, maybe a long sleeve and some shorts, some fins and a mask. But we went all the way out there, and we dove all the way. We started like paddling out all the way from the left side by Lauderdale by the Sea, by the pier. By the marker point is the brown building. Lucas, he had like a paddleboard that had straps on it and everything. I got me 2 pairs of gloves because I knew we were going to be lobstering and we were going to catch some lobster. And this was actually my first time catching a lobster, but I'll get to that in the story. So we were basically pedaling out. And the water was so crystal clear this day. It was perfect visibility. Unexplored habitat. Lots of seaweed in the ocean. Lots of plastic, unfortunately, which as I'm going to be recounting this, that was kind of the first thing that we were hit with before we went out, was the sight of plastic. Even before we saw the turtle, but we were going out farther and farther and farther and farther. I say we probably went out more than 2 miles out. And so, we're just kicking. The first thing we see is a sea turtle. So the sea turtle is there just being in the water and everything and chilling, and I actually dove. I went dove upside down on the side so he could get near and get comfortable, because you never want to go directly at animals in the water. You never want to just lunge at them. You want them to be comfortable, and he was really coming comfortable. So looking at this crystal blue water, at the angle I was at, it was almost like breathtaking to see that. Like, I'm literally diving and the turtle is above, and I'm going below while he's just zooming above me, and he's actually getting closer, which, I've been around sea turtles. I try to keep my distance, but I'd say if you ever see one, try diving upside down and just diving diagonal. It makes them comfortable as opposed to you just creeping up on them. And as, he's cruising, I'm seeing him look at me and everything, and, I do a turn and I start kicking more and more out. And we're kicking all the way out. We're kicking. And, I'm hoping that I catch a fish today. I'm hoping that I catch some lobsters. And we were just going miles and 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 miles out. And like, there's nothing. So I'm thinking in the back of my mind, this is going to be a drag, but I'm seeing huge mounds of seaweed and everything. And because of that, I know there's going to be a fish out here. I know that off rip. So then we started going over some corals, did maybe like 2 or 3, just pork fish, nothing really major, but we keep going all the way out there. And further out, and further out, and further out, and further out. And the first thing I see is when I get into the water is I see these stone squares. And the squares are like so huge. I'm like, dang, it kind of is like, I feel like I'm hovering over Atlantis. And right then and there, I see a huge school of cobias, grunts, just swimming around and everything. And they're going round and round. So this is a school of fish. Now, there was a particular fish that was, it was more than the most that we were seeing at the moment. I don't know what type of fish this was, but apparently it tasted horrible. So I had Andrew gave me a spear gun to shoot at some of the grunts, but I personally wasn't feeling like having grunts again. I know what grunts taste like. I've had them before. I've actually speared one before. It's all right. It's decent. But that's not really what my focus was. Like I said, I wanted lobsters. And I wanted to eat, something different. Maybe hopefully we'll catch a red snapper or something. Because, Andrew and Mr. Shoot 'em don't miss. And he was balling out that day. So we keep going, and we're looking for lobsters and everything. And literally,